Hello and welcome to Tax Matters. The world today has gone digital in almost every facet of life, including tax administration, where technology is driving the process. Nigeria's Federal Inland Revenue Service has introduced numerous initiatives to drive tax compliance across board with the introduction of its e-services. E-registration, e-stamp duty, e-filing, e-payment, e-receipt, and e-TCC. This has made tax compliance easier and more convenient for taxpayers. In its bid to transform the country's revenue uptake, the federal government has introduced various tax reforms, including amendments to some extant tax laws through FIRS, the Finance Act 2019, and more recently, the Finance Act 2020, by which the FIRS is vested with the powers to deploy technology to drive tax administration. Only a few days ago, at the first National Tax Dialogue, President Muhammadu Buhari gave marching orders to the FIRS to deploy technology in administering taxes, even as he has also directed all MDAs to open their systems for scrutiny by the FIRS.
We all are now living in a fast digitalizing world. As such, business transactions are continually being migrated from brick and mortar locations to digital places or spaces. It is therefore incumbent upon tax authorities to adopt digital means to efficiently track taxable transactions for the purpose of collecting the tax. Accordingly, the Federal Inland Revenue Service has my mandate to speedily put all measures in place to fully implement programs to stamp out base erosion and profit shifting in all their ramifications and generally automate its tax processes. In line with this, I have directed all government agencies and businesses enterprises to grant Federal Inland Revenue Services access to their systems for seamless connections.
It is noteworthy that the FIRS is not just rising up to this challenge. The service has for more than a decade now been deploying technology in pursuit of its mandates: assessment, collection, and accounting for taxes. Mr. Kunle Oli is the Director ICT at the FIRS. What are the components of the FIRS tax automation system?
Over the years, and you also need to know that technology trend is actually changing every now and then. And it's in line with that. Also, FIRS too felt that there's a need for us to also make sure we move with technology. As a result of that, we actually started the modernization program more than 10 years ago. And what are the things actually? The things actually we've done was to look at our internal processes and also the processes that we're implementing for our service provider. In the internal process, we looked at our financial management system. We also looked at our payroll system, and we tried to provide IT solutions in order to actually modernize these processes. And aside from this process, we now looked at our tax payment administration system, starting from the deployment of the web portal. We have the web portal, which actually is an online real-time collection monitoring system. We also have integration with third-party service providers. We have collection with the tax payment, the payment platform application providers. And we also make sure actually for our team, we make our team for the users to actually be uniquely identified. So we're able to actually identify our taxpayer uniquely. So there are many of these modernization programs that we actually instituted as far back as maybe around 2008, and we are still doing more, and we're improving on what the service we're providing to the taxpayers and also our users.
Throwing more lights.
We also have what we call the e-filing. The e-filing actually enables you to be able to file for your tax returns. And that means you can do that one in the comfort of your homes or in your office. You can file whatever you need. You don't need to also go to our office again for you to be able to say you want to file. And aside from that, our payment systems now, you also don't need to actually take cash to our tax offices now. So you can you can ensure that you log in with your TIN number, you provide it, and you go to the likes of the remitter, the Pay Direct, InterSwitch, eTransact, and even from your internet banking, you can make payments, you can pay to government, and the money, as we have paid it, actually moves to our government account in CBN, while also you will be able to get acknowledgement as evidence of what, or acknowledgement for what actually you have paid to government. That is on e-payment. We also have e-stamp duty, where actually, again, you will be able to actually process your stamp duty payment. If you want to register a company, so you also need, actually with that solution that we have deployed, what has happened is that those who normally spend almost 3 days trying to incorporate their business, they can do it within a day. And it's because of this service that actually we have provided. You can also verify your tax identification number, TIN number. You can verify it by knowing your RC number. You put it, you go to our website. So on the website, you see e-services menu. You can click on it, and then you'll be able to also verify by knowing your RC number. You can actually get your TIN number.
On the linkage of all these with the taxpayer identification number scheme.
What we've done we've actually collaborated with CAC, that is Corporate Affairs Commission, where now before, once you incorporate your business, your TIN, the tax identification number, is also imprinted or is affixed on your certificate of incorporation. So you don't need to actually go to FIRS office to ask for your TIN again. So with that, you will be able to actually have your TIN on your certificate of incorporation.
And with regard to the end of the road, the very end of the process, tax clearance certificates.
ETCC, for the ET, that is electronic tax clearance certificate. So what it means is that you need to actually, you are applying for tax clearance certificate. Before you can do any business, if you want to get contract with government, you need to actually provide your tax clearance certificate. So these are actually ways of actually enhancing compliance, because without that, you cannot be doing business with government. So for the ETCC, you need to log in. You go to our website. Also, from it, you see under the e-services menu, you click on it, and then you see a drop down. You can now pick your ETCC, and then you can actually put your revenue, your income, and some of the expenses. Then from there, you'll be able to actually itemize, actually give us how much taxes you have paid for the last 3 years. And based on that, actually, this will be reviewed at the back end, and from there, you get your tax clearance certificate.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Guy, what happened? This COVID-19 is not easy on my business, so my client just put the project on hold. Imagine that one of last week. They cancelled it. And I am scheduled to call my tax officer next week. What do I tell him?
Relax. FIRS has it sorted already. That's why they issued palliative measures to cushion the effects of COVID-19 on taxpayers. Remittance of VAT, which used to be on or before 21st of every month, has now been extended to the last day of the month. FIRS also states that it's imperative that companies whose revenues are in foreign currency and personal income, tax returns for foreign affairs, non-residents, military and police, immediately check their website for important updates, as well as information on late returns penalty. All supporting documents can be submitted later to the tax office for all those who cannot access email facilities. There are lots more. From now till further notice, FIRS says all taxpayers can now take advantage of its simple, user-friendly and robust e-filing process to submit their documents online instead of visiting tax offices. Dedicated email addresses for each of the offices are available on their website, www.firs.gov.ng. Stay safe and comply with all the guidelines issued by the government so that together we can make Nigeria working again.
This broadcast is powered by FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
At the subnational level, The state taxing authorities have also embraced the imperatives of deploying technology in tax administration. Just at the end of the year 2020, the JTB held its 146th meeting, at which the theme centered around the use of technology in tax administration. In the course of the one-day meeting, a paper was presented by Ms. Chako Okoye of the FIRS. Ms. Okoye began with this background.
If you look at the Nigeria's tax indices, our tax to GDP ratio is currently at 6%, and you can compare this to Africa's 17.2%. And we have decided to leave it at African level, so we're not saying, oh, these are OECD countries. And with the OECD, you're looking at about 26%. But Africa's average is 17.2, whereas Nigeria is about 6%. And our VAT to GDP is not even any better. We stand at 0.86% today, as against Africa's 5.1%. And if you go further to look at income tax, that's revenue to GDP, and this is inclusive of PPT. It's at 3.36% against Africa's 5.9% average. While Nigeria is ranked 131 out of 190 countries on ease of doing business by the World Bank, when it comes to ease of paying taxes, we are ranked 159 of those 190 countries. Now, if you compare this to South Africa, which has a much smaller economy than Nigeria, South African annual collection is about $85 billion, which is about 400% higher than Nigeria's $17 billion.
Ms. Okoye then proceeded to present a proposal to the JTB members.
Now, what is the e-tax solution that we're introducing and urging all of us to embrace? It's designed to automatically take out relevant taxes and remit directly to be it the federal or state accounts, domicile accounts. So federal taxes such as VAT, withholding tax and stamp duties, and then the state and local government taxes to the relevant IRS designated accounts in all the 36 states and FCT. This solution comes with a secure online to monitor all payments and tax remittances in real time. Why are we doing this, or why should we even do this? First is compliance. We want to ensure that all payments that we're making to all our vendors, that the relevant taxes are deducted from them, and they're not just deducted, but remitted to the designated TSA account. It also gives you a single account view where the authorized persons can have a single view of all the bank accounts that the states have or the federal has. It also gives you the balances in each of those accounts. It enables you to sweep funds automatically without having to rely on the banks, thereby minimizing delays. You can also define any type of report that you want, customized to suit your requirements. It has a seamless integration into the legacy systems such as NITS, InterSwitch, and any other legacy systems that any of the tax authorities may have. You can also, it enables you to also create a database of all contractors, suppliers, and service providers to each of the states, including the federal, and it issues receipts to every deduction that is made automatically.
There was yet another proposal.
The next one is just a brief introduction of the Enterprise Tax Administration and Revenue Assurance Solution. For the states that haven't implemented the tax administration system, so this will be of value to them. So what does it really do? It improves taxpayer registration. It has demonstrated to improve. For those that have implemented it, can attest to them. It has given up over 700% registration performance. It has the capability of reducing duplicate taxpayers. It also increased annual return. It's typically installed in the data center of the tax authority. So in other words, the chairman of the different boards have absolute control of the system. What we experienced is that during the lockdown, It allows for business continuity. Critical processes such as assessments, return filing, audit, revenue collections, registration, all continue to happen irrespective of the lockdown because it's available online, real-time, 24/7. So it's a self-service.
The Chairman Joint Task Board, Executive Chairman FIRS, stepped in to shed more light on the proposal.
The world today is a global village. What OECD has done is what we are trying to duplicate locally here. Whatever we have done at FIRS today, because of the automatic exchange of information treaty we have signed with the entire world, any information we have from Afghanistan to China or any taxpayer in Nigeria that is doing business all over the world today, the moment we just send in a mail, replies will start coming in immediately. We have a secretariat now, a whole building that we have dedicated to that with a director and staff with him. So by the time they send in Mohammed Memi, we want to know which country on earth has he been doing business and how much of those money has come. To God mean, in 5 minutes, you see reply all over. He was in Japan, he made this, he was this, he spent this. So you already have this information about him. And probably when he was doing tax return to you, when I was doing my tax return before I leave Nigeria, I have declared just 10 million naira as my global income. Then maybe in a market in China alone, I've spent 50 million. We don't keep record, but they do. Before you know it, they say he was in our country, he spent 50 million in social shop. He spent 30 million. So if we are patient with us, say yes, nothing comes free. But before we know it, any citizen of ours that move from Niger to Benue to Akwa Ibom, those things ordinarily, which you will never know anything about, you begin to see them. And this will have an integration of issues like TIN. So the Iboma that is in the Mina market, that is trading, that you know nothing about, he doesn't pay tax to us in Niger. He's your citizen, he doesn't pay. If you are saying, I pay it back home, you get it. By the time you type his name and TIN, you discover that he doesn't do it to you at home, and he doesn't do it in Niger. So he has to choose to pay somewhere.
In a related development, in a set of the board address, the Secretary of the JTB, Mrs. Nana Aisha Obameke, used the occasion to give an update on the taxpayer identification number scheme.
TIN database integration. The JTB TIN database is supposed to be populated and make more robust by harnessing or leveraging on the existing databases of two powerful agencies, that is Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, NIS, and the Nigeria Identity Management Commission database. The chairman is working seriously to ensure that we get this data.
The chairman of the state boards threw their weight behind the initiative.
As you can see, the theme, which is leveraging on technology for indirect taxes, is a new norm because most of the time we've leveraged on other items and the issue of indirect taxes that needs to use technology solution. And so JTB now is introducing that in order to aid the states with solutions, electronic solutions, so that we can improve on our revenue, especially with this COVID year. We have to look at ways in that which we can improve our collections.
The solution that has been so preferred is something that all states need to imbibe. Some states have already gone quite far. So, you know, when we come for these sessions, it usually brings up new solutions for everybody to be at par. So all states are looking for different options and activities with which they can improve revenue, block leakages, and then bringing more people into the tax net. Our country is such that the level of compliance for tax is really very, very low, and we need to do everything to increase it.
So what does this portend for taxpayers? For taxpayers, a lot of benefit, because one, for instance, the issue of multiplication and duplication of taxes will be eliminated, or at least significantly minimized. And then they can get their tax certificates online. They can also ease of reconciliation of tax payments, and computation of taxes that they should pay. It will be easier, because with some solution you can, on your desktop, on your laptop, compute what taxes you should be able to pay and do your self-assessment.
Again, Ms. Okoye for an update on her paper.
What it pertains, both for taxpayer and the tax administration system, is compliance. So the tax officials do not have to now go chasing contractors who have done work for the state. For the federal, it's happening, especially for all the agencies that have joined the GIFMAs. So the deduction and the remittance is happening automatically, but it's not so with the states. So what this will do is that for all taxes that are due for both limited liability companies and enterprises, the taxes will be deducted on source as the states make payments to the contractor service providers. It's not targeting taxpayers that are not doing work for the state governments or federal governments. The target is actually for the contractors or service providers that are providing a service and getting paid for that service. So when the government pay them, there are taxes deductible, like VAT and withholding tax and stamp duties. Well, stamp duties applies to both the states and the federal. They are deducted as source. And then there are state taxes and local government taxes. So those taxes also are deducted as source and then remitted to the state's designated tax accounts. That's what it does. So it enforces compliance first and foremost, and then ease of payment. No more chasing and using the brick and mortar style in getting taxes paid. And again, for the consolidated bank accounts, so you can know what balances are in all your bank accounts and all that, and then reporting purposes. So there are many benefits.
Is there any proposed take-off time or period for this e-tax payment?
It will actually be dependent on the states. As soon as the states sign up, because they need to sign up acceptance, but we're ready to engage the company or the service provider. Probably we'll do that in the next 1 week, and thereafter they can then go to the states to get them to sign up. But we'll have 3 states already that are ready. Rivers is ready, Plateau is ready, Edo is ready, and I think Ondo, 4 states really are ready, so they can at least start taking those ones right away.
As you can see, everybody is now on the same page. All tax authorities appreciate the imperatives of using technology to drive tax administration and are obviously embracing it. The evidence is all over the place. Lagos State, Rivers State, Delta, Kano, Kaduna, Kwara, and many of them. Still staying with the 146th JTB meeting, other matters came up. The meeting provided a platform for the Tax Appeal Tribunal to showcase itself.
The tribunal was established under the FIRS Establishment Act to handle disputes arising out of all the aspects of tax: companies' income tax, personal income tax, petroleum profit tax, VAT, CGT, stamp duties. But over the years, we have noticed that we are witnessing very low patronage from state inland revenue services. That is why I'm here today.
The TAT has zonal tribunals in 8 zones spread across the country. The TAT can be approached by either the taxpayer or the tax authority. We thank you for riding with us on this journey into education and information on taxation. I'm Chamaka Ohawachi. See you next week.